Don't look now, but Jerami Grant through 9 games in the season is averaging 24.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.7 assists a game on 46% from the field and 36% from 3. He has a 59% true shooting percentage, and Grant so far is having a very efficient season with the Detroit Pistons and is growing as a two-way player in the league. When Jerami Grant signed his 3-year, $60 million contract, some were saying that he wasn't worth that money, but Grant doubled down on himself and left the contending Nuggets team in search to become the man for his own team. Grant doubled down on himself, and it's looking like he is showing signs of truly breaking out and unleashing his full potential with the Detroit Pistons. Grant is seeing a much more Pascal Siakam type leap with the Detroit Pistons. Now, Jerami Grant is seeing a ton of playing time on the floor as he is putting in close to 37 minutes a game. His shot attempts has seen a huge increase from 8.9 in Denver last season to now 18 shot attempts a game. His usage percentage has jumped from 18% to now 25%. He has scored 20 plus points for 8 consecutive games, and he has 2 31-point performances. The Detroit Pistons are not a playoff competing team, and I wouldn't expect that from this team, especially with bringing in a lot of new pieces and having young players on the team. They are just finding a way to mesh well, and really they're just going through the motions of a rebuild. It is going to take a while for the Pistons to get back into playoff contention. So some may look at this and see, well, the Pistons are 14th in the Eastern Conference at 2-7, so Jerami Grant is getting the opportunities to put up 20 plus points a game on a rebuilding bad team while being a main option. And while Blake Griffin doesn't look like Blake Griffin, someone has to be able to score consistently for this team, and Jerami Grant so happens to be that guy. While on other teams, he never really got that look of being a go-to guy, and this is true, but the fact that so far Grant is putting up these numbers efficiently is something big, and if he can keep this up the entire season, we will be looking at Jerami Grant in a very different light. Not in the light of a role player anymore, or just this defensive 3-and-D guy who can at times get to the basket, but now a guy who can give you much more than what he was originally advertised in being. We may start to view him as a guy capable of being a legitimate second, third option for a contending team. And yes, it is limited games, and he does have much more to prove throughout the season, but this changes his entire role and how we view him as a player if he keeps up his production. His shots mostly comes from the rim and from 3. Now, Jerami Grant's finishing at the rim has mostly stayed the same. He has always been a good finisher, a very elite type finisher, and this season so far he is shooting it at 69% at the rim according to Cleaning the Glass, and he has always been an elite finisher, dating back to his first year in Oklahoma City. Being athletic and having a long wingspan does help a lot in that though. Now, this is being even more amplified due to his increased role and the ability to create with the ball in his hands, taking guys off the dribble and getting by them. He is comfortable with the ball in his hands, and he doesn't have a tight handle or just incredible Kyrie type handles, but it's enough for him to work with and get by the defense. He is getting the green light, and since he is working more creating and driving by defenses as well as off-ball cuts, he is starting to get more respect as his free throw attempts have increased to around 6 a game, and he is knocking them down at 86%. His three-point shooting has been a key area for him. He takes around 7 a game and is hitting them at 36%, which is just above the league average. He takes a lot of spot up catch and shoot jumpers and takes around 6 a game and shooting it at 38% on catch and shoot shots. He does need to improve on pull-up shots off the dribble as he shoots it at 28% so far. But he is getting the most looks for threes on his team, and his teammates are looking to find him. So Jerami Grant is an elite finisher at the rim, has solid three-point shooting numbers, and the ability to get by defenses, and is getting more shot attempts and free throw attempts. Jerami Grant is being unleashed in front of our eyes, and there is no reason why he can't keep this up for the entire season, especially if this Detroit Pistons team is going to lean on him as a go-to guy for now. And he's going to submit a case for him being most improved player. All around good scorer so far and great defensive player. He can guard multiple positions. He's done this throughout his entire career. He has that length to intimidate players and is good at playing on-ball and off-ball defense. My question marks for him are, can he be much more efficient scoring in the mid-range, and can he become a better playmaker creating for his teammates? And more importantly, can he be the best player on a winning team? Because that's the most important thing out of all of this. He can put up big numbers and good numbers all he wants, but if he is not winning, it really doesn't mean anything. I don't think he can become the best player on a winning team, but he could potentially be seen in the future as that reliable second or third option that can help a contending team. Jerami Grant has been impressive so far through the season, and there's more games to go. We're going to see much more of him, but he is showing a lot of promise in being that scorer and defensive player, that two-way guy for the Detroit Pistons.